Okay, right now we're sitting inside a 1998 Volvo V90. The problem we've been experiencing is the air conditioning. Right now the air conditioning is working fine because it's cool outside, it's raining, which happens quite often here in the summertime. The rain cools it down nicely. However, in this vehicle, when the temperature soars to 90 plus degrees outside, the air conditioner decides it's not going to work. Now, we've gone through numerous places, talked to a lot of people about what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that, blah, 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 blah. Volvo has installed a cutout switch, which prevents the air conditioner compressor from burning itself up should you run out of refrigerant. Now, we're going to bypass that. It's a safety measure for your car they put in there. We're going to bypass that. But if your car is 15 years old or more, 13, 14, whatever, and you're experiencing this intermittent air conditioning cutout problem, we're going to solve the problem for you. We had to eliminate a couple things first. All right, the first couple of things that we eliminated was that the vehicle didn't have refrigerant in it. When it's low on refrigerant, when it's low, it'll do a couple things. One is fast cycling. It will cool, you'll feel it kick in, kick out, kick in, kick out. The clutch is activating, but because there's not enough Freon in there, pressure differentials, blah, 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 it'll cut right back off. So fast cycling of your clutch is something that is not going to be solved by this. That click, 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 and you can see the clutch activate and deactivate when you look at the front of the engine. That is not going to be solved by that. Another item that's not going to be solved by that is the Volvo clutch has shims that you can adjust inside there to change the tolerances of the clutch. If it's too wide a gap, the clutch doesn't have enough, the magnet doesn't have enough power to pull the clutch in to you, so therefore there's another fix, which is to solve that. We have eliminated those two possibilities, and the car cools well, but when it's hot, the symptoms are, if you're experiencing this, a lot of people have this, it's hot outside, it's 90 degrees, 100 degrees, whatever, the car cranks up, everything works fine for about the first 5-10 minutes, and then it cuts out. Maybe 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later, bam, air conditioning comes back on again. So it's not a fast cycling, but the clutch works, activates the compressor, then gets hot and stops working, and there's a thermal bypass that we are going to bypass the bypass. We're going to show you how to fix that problem. It will void your warranty on the air conditioner if you still have it 15 years later. So, don't do this. A lot of air conditioners don't have this thermal cutoff switch anyhow. But if you're experiencing this, which particularly in the late 90s, early 2000 Volvos, a lot of people have complained about this, and they don't seem to find the problem other than buying a new compressor. Go to your Volvo dealership, spend, I don't know, what, $1,750? Not me! I'm going to show you how to do this quick and easy. Okay, this is the offending vehicle. It's a 1998 V90 Volvo. Here we have our setup. I've got a little thing of those wire chompy doos, a little flashlight, some connectors, and a clampy do for my connectors. Down here, let's turn on our flashlight. And you can see right down against there is the plug that comes out of the air conditioner. That's your heat cutoff. We're going to move some stuff out of the way and go take a look at it. See, air cleaner bucks, pop, 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 pop. There's some little poppy doos. We just popped all those off. Really popped almost all of them. There's one more back behind there. So you got 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 of those. And there's 2 that are on the hose. Bing! Okay, that's out of the way. So now we can see a little bit better where we're going. Alright, so now we're looking down in here. There's a couple things to note. We want to get the engine kind of cool so you don't burn your fingers. This is the wire. Comes from that plug, which is now dark, up here, and it goes between the supply line and the line that goes to your clutch. And what we're going to do is just trim a little bit of stuff off there and make that a new line. Alright, so one thing I didn't show you before was these. There's a little tiny pair of scissors. We're going to cut the insulation off this wire. It's got a little shrink wrap tube which wasn't shrinked or wrapped. And scissors aren't any good, so let's do a different thing here. Alright, so we've got this little piece of rubber like shrink wrap tube around there, the insulation to keep those wires together. We've scored that, and we're just going to rip that loose right on down the way until it's gone bye-bye. Alright, so you're going to take just a pair of dikes. These are the Harbor Freight cheapo dikes, like $1. Both of those wires. There's one. And there's two. You don't want to leave too much excess. If you ever want to reinstate that cutoff, you can. At this point, we've got enough wire left for that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this insulation completely off now, so it's out of the way. We'll discard that, and then we're going to join these two, the one that comes from the, or it's actually going to feed the clutch, and the one that comes from the switch. We're going to connect those two wires with one of these to strip it nice and easy, and then we'll put a clamp on it. Be right back. Okay, so now we've stripped the two wires. We're going to place those together, and we're going to put one of our connectors right here, the appropriate size connector, and clamp that down so that we're just going to complete the circuit bypassing the heat cutoff, and this should solve the problem with the air conditioner not working when it's hot, when you really need it. Alright, so as often happens here in South Carolina, the rain has started during this repair. Put an umbrella over the car. You can see down at the far end, there's the cutoff switch with the wires dangling. If anybody ever wants to reactivate this, they can. There's the two wires joined together. And we're going to crank it up and see if what we're looking for to make sure it's working. For those of you who are interested. Out on this end of the air conditioner, and the clutch activates the very far end of it, will start turning. The pulley is always turning. This part here will only turn when it's been activated. So we're going to crank it up and then come back and see if it's working. Okay, so car is cranked. And AC cuts on. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like a job well done. We'll find out when it gets to be 100 degrees outside whether this repair worked or not. One more time, a good look at the wire, and far beyond that in the back is the jumper that we bypassed. Looking at it again from the outside, there's the hood. You're going to go in just like this. There's your air conditioner, compressor unit. There's the wire you're going to redo. And we removed the air filter housing cover just for a little ease of access. We're going to put this back together and get in for the rain now.